hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, it's gonna be, I don't know, just kind of a little fun vloggy type video. I was feeding some of my animals the other day and I thought that I might as well record it and make a video out of it because I know that you guys love seeing feeding videos. So in this video, I'm feeding most of my lizards. Not all of them, there are a few that I didn't feed in this video, but most of them are being fed, so lots of my chameleons and geckos and stuff. So I thought that that would be fun. I do want to point out before we get into the video that this video was like recorded over a whole day. In the video, it looks like I did everything all at once, but just I don't know, just to put it out there, I did film some of this like in the morning, in the afternoon, and then some in the evening before I went to bed, because not all of my animals eat at the same time of the day. The diurnal animals eat earlier and then the nocturnal animals eat later. Anyways, that's kind of besides the point. No one probably cares. All that said, let's just go ahead and get right on into the video because it is a little bit of a long one, but hopefully you guys enjoy it. So let's get right into it. Okay, so right back there is my Trioceras montium. He's usually like a crazy eater. As soon as I put crickets in here or something, he goes crazy for them. So I want to try offering him a silkworm today. So we're gonna go and grab that and see if he would like to eat it. Okay, so here's my container of silkworms. I want to find a smaller one in here because he's not that big. This one right here looks good. We'll take this one. Okay, so let's take this and see if he would like it. So Chaos is out right now, so I wanted to take the opportunity to film her. Now she's really iffy about eating from tongs. Sometimes she will, sometimes she won't. So we're gonna give it a try anyways and just see. Maybe she'll take a silkworm. If not, I'll just put some crickets in her enclosure and then she can eat those. Because I don't know, I guess it just kind of depends on her mood. Sometimes she will take it, other times she will not. Look at that silkworm. Doesn't seem to be too interested in it. Hey, do you want it? Yeah, she doesn't look like she's too interested in one of the silkworms, so she might just get some crickets in her cage later and then like on top of her Pangea and stuff, but I don't know, she doesn't seem to be too interested in the silkworm. But at least you guys got to see her and now she's going to hide. But she's getting so big. I'm so excited to give her cage upgrade. Let me like move this piece of cork so that you guys can kind of see her closer. Look at how big she's getting. Actually, now I want to take her out and like show you guys her on my hand. There, look how big she's getting. If it would focus, that'd be nice. There you go. Yeah, look at how big she's getting. You guys remember when I first got her, she like just barely fit on my finger. She's growing so big. She's, I don't know, she's just doing really well, so I'm excited. I'm excited to get her cage upgrade. I think she'll definitely appreciate it, and that's coming at the end of the month because she's definitely a little bit big now, isn't she? Okay, I'm going to bring the rest of the silkworms over here where the rest of my chameleons are because we're going to be giving some of these to the chameleons, and then I think I'm going to give some to like my leopard geckos and whoever else will eat them because I did get 12 of them. So yeah, I don't know, let's just start feeding the chameleons. Quickly, I do also just want to point out the reason that I'm not adding like any supplements onto these is kind of, these are sort of a treat. Silkworms are pretty expensive, so I don't feed them super frequently, but they are really healthy for your animals. Anytime I dust their normal food, like their crickets and stuff, things that they get often, those are typically always supplemented. But anytime I offer just sort of like a treat thing, like a silkworm or a hornworm, I don't bother dusting it because they get all their calcium and vitamins on the rest of their food. Now Felix here is kind of always hit or miss when it comes to eating out of my hand. Sometimes he'll go for it, other times he won't. If he doesn't want to, what I usually do is I just place the worm on the branch in front of him and then he'll usually go for it. Would you like some privacy? He's, I don't know, like I said, he's very hit or miss. Sometimes he'll eat right out of my hand, other time he's really shy. Oh, there we go. Yeah, and likes his door closed. And there we go. Just a side note, but I'm so excited to start building their cages soon. It's gonna be so awesome being able to get them in these like massive 5-foot long enclosures, 6 feet tall. It's gonna be so great. I'm super excited to do that. I'm going to go ahead and give him a second worm because he's a pretty big guy and he would probably definitely appreciate another one. So Fiona here usually always will eat out of my hand. She usually doesn't have a problem. So I'm going to grab a worm out of here and then I will see if she wants to take it. Ew. Okay, that's gross. It like squirted on me. Nasty. Ew. Okay, and again, she's pretty big. I'm going to grab a second one so then if she wants it, she can have another one. She's always kind of iffy about seconds, I find. Anytime I offer her like a second worm, sometimes she'll take it, other times she has no interest, so we'll see how it goes. Do you want another worm? Would you like it? Yeah, this is what I mean. Sometimes she just like doesn't want a second one. Oh, maybe. Oh, I think she wants it. Maybe I was wrong. Well, she doesn't seem to be too interested in a second one, so we're just going to leave her alone now, but thank you for taking that out of my hand because hand feedings are always great. Okay, we're going to move on from chameleons now because all of the chameleons who will eat silkworms have taken theirs, and we're going to start feeding some leopard geckos. So both Alani and Sushi will eat silkworms, no issue, they love them. Pepper on the other hand, she's a little bit different. She usually won't take silkworms, but I'll probably try offering her one just in case. But I can probably guarantee that both Alani and Sushi will gladly take a silkworm. Hard to see because there's quite the shadow, but Alani's just kind of under her rocks right there. But if I grab a silkworm, oh yeah, she's already coming out. She knows it's food time. Would you like a worm? Oh, I dropped it, that's great. And there she goes. Yum. Too bad that was out of focus, wow. We're actually gonna go ahead and give her a second one because I think she might like them a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so she did just take her second worm. It's really hard to see though because she decided to run to the very back of her cage and my camera wasn't focusing, but she has now enjoyed 2 silkworms. So we're going to move on to Sushi, who is right there. Sushi is always incredibly eager to eat, so Sushi's super food driven. Would you like a silkworm, Sushi? Yeah, there you go. Let's not eat there. I'm like the worst camera person ever. I apologize. I'm so bad. And let's grab a second one. And there we go. And now she's going to continue to hide under that piece of cork. Okay, now I'm going to take this little silkworm here and see if Pepper wants to eat it. Oh, there she is. She's right there. So now Pepper has some neurological issues, so when I do feed her, sometimes she will kind of move her head rapidly. So don't be alarmed if you see her doing some weird head movements. It is just a part of her neurological issue, but she is okay. She just... Oh, there we go. What a good little hunt. All right, so all 3 of my leopard geckos ate a silkworm. I'm going to go ahead and try with Daisy, my African fat-tailed gecko. I can almost guarantee that she won't eat it though. She's picky. Honestly, the only reason I'm really trying is because I still have a couple left over that I would like to feed off. So it would be cool if she would eat, but I would say it's very unlikely that she will. So she's in this foreground right here, so probably can't see her very well. If she does want to eat this, she'll come out for it. Oh, she's interested. Oh, she took it. Yay! It's always like super exciting to me when she accepts new foods because she is probably my pickiest gecko that I have. So the very few occasions that she will accept a different type of feeder besides crickets is usually pretty exciting. And that's all of the silkworms fed off now, so I'm going to go ahead and start getting some crickets for all of the ones who need crickets. So now I do have 2 different cricket bins. I have this one right here, and then I have this one right here. So this contains like my larger crickets, and then this one here has the really small crickets. So now these guys are gut loaded. I just put some fresh food in with them last night, and it looks like they ate almost all of it. They've left a little bit of cucumber, but there was like multiple different kinds of vegetables in here last night, so they should be nice and fed. Same with these guys. So I'm going to go ahead and take the little ones first, and we'll start with those, and then we'll move on to the bigger ones. So what I do to feed my crickets off and stuff is I take a bin, well, I take the cricket bin obviously, I open it up, and then there we go, we have the crickets inside. And then I take a little like plastic container like this. This is just something to shake the crickets into. So I'll probably kind of move some of this cardboard over so that I can just place this down there, and then I can take pieces of the egg carton and shake it out into this container to get the crickets. Okay, there we go. So I usually go and just take a lot because, you know, any that I don't feed I can just dump back in the container, so I'd rather take like too many than not enough. And then I'm going to take my supplements. So I do rotate supplements, so I use different ones, you know, with different feedings. But for today I'm going to be using just plain calcium without vitamin D3. And so I'm just going to shake a little bit into this container. And then once the calcium is in there, I'll shake the crickets up inside of it. Some of them are jumping out. These guys usually don't jump out of this. And then now we have a bunch of calcium covered crickets. So now it's time to go ahead and start feeding these off to all of the hungry animals waiting for them. So these crickets are really, really tiny. It's probably hard to get a really good size idea from the camera, but I'm going to be feeding these to my Bradypodian. I'm going to give some to my Montium. You know, he did just get a hornworm, but I am going to give him, I keep saying hornworm. I gave him a silkworm, but I'm going to give him a couple crickets too because he's still growing. And I'm going to give some to my Urodactylodes, and then I'll also be giving some to my Thacodactylus, which are over there. But anyways, we're going to start with these guys, the Bradypodian. These guys are super fun to watch eat. When it comes to feeding my chameleons crickets, I typically always like to let them hunt them themselves. It's good enrichment for them. It's good exercise to have them move around for their food. It gets them, you know, shooting your tongue. If you're always tongue feeding them, they don't always get the proper exercise or enrichment that they really enjoy. So I personally really like just free feeding them. Oh my god, you can see the female like trying to eat the crickets through the cage. She has a much higher feeding response than the male does. Okay, we'll give you some because he's being a little bit boring. So she just got one. I don't know if you really saw that very well early. She tried to. I don't actually think she got one. But oh, there we go. Yeah, she has such a high feeding response. It's so fun watching her eat. She's so cute. It's too bad that she's like not somewhere that you can see her very clearly, but... And what are you doing? He's over here being pretty boring. Seems like he just doesn't want to eat right now. What are you doing? Something else that these guys really enjoy eating is fruit flies. So oftentimes I'll give them, you know, small crickets, and then other times I'll also give them fruit flies. They really, really like the fruit flies, and it's really fun to watch them hunt. So I'll probably have to do a video feeding them the fruit flies sometime soon because it's super, super cute. I mean, look how cute she is anyways. Like... It's so precious. Oh, the male finally just shot his tongue. I didn't get to see it, but you can kind of see him chewing now. And she just got another one. I'm missing everything. I can't get over how cute she is. My mist king just turned on, in case you're wondering what that noise is. It's just the misting system. Okay, well, let's leave the chameleons for now. At least those two. And we'll take these, take the lid back off. I'm gonna pop a few into this enclosure here. I can guarantee you we won't see this guy eat, but I am going to give him a few of the tiny crickets. I'm just going to drop them right in And there he goes, crickets, and there's one on the back of my hand. Okay, and as I mentioned, I'm going to throw a few into my Montium's enclosure, just so he has a little bit extra besides the silkworm that he just ate. Just a couple, there we go. And yeah, he goes crazy for crickets, so we should definitely be able to get some good footage of him hunting them. Yeah, he's awesome. He's just... The second I put crickets in here, he goes nuts. Okay, and then lastly for the small crickets, we're going to throw some in this enclosure for my Thacodactylus. Once again, this is not going to be an animal who you're going to see eating. These guys are pretty reclusive. Don't really see them that often at all, but I'm going to throw some crickets in there so then they can hunt them when they decide to come out. Oh, actually, I don't know if you saw, there's one of them right there. That's so cool. They're very reclusive, so you really don't see them that often, so it's pretty neat that he came out. This one right here that you're seeing, oh, he just ran away. Anyways, that one was the male. He tends to be a bit less reclusive than the female. I hardly ever see the female at all. She's usually hiding in one of the cork grounds, but I do see the male out more frequently. So I do have quite a few crickets left over, so as I mentioned, I'm just going to put these back into the container and then I can feed them off again tomorrow or whenever I need to. So we're done with the small crickets for now, so I'm just going to put this container away and then we'll move on to the larger crickets. So exact same thing as before, I'm going to take this container and then I'm going to shake out some crickets into it. Once again, I like to take quite a few because it's, I don't know, it's easier to take too many than not enough and have to come back for more. So I'm going to try to get as many as I can right now, and then, you know, like I said before, any that I don't feed can go back. And this is probably going to gross people out, but I am just going to start grabbing them because why not? And there we go. I feel like that's a decent amount. So once again, I'm going to shake some calcium in. This one's like being difficult. Not much wants to come out, but shake some calcium in there and then shake it around to coat them all. And there we go. Now we have some nice larger crickets for some of the larger animals. Okay, so I'm going to give a few to my Chihuahua gecko. Hoping we might be able to see him. He's in this cork ground right here, so if I put some crickets right up here, I might get him to come out for the camera. Do you want that cricket? Well, you can probably tell he just ate it, even though you didn't see that. You can like hear him crunching it. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but he's there crunching away. Okay, well there's two more crickets in there besides the one that he just ate, so I'm just going to go ahead and close that and then we will move on to my lychee. We will go ahead and give her some crickets also. Okay, so now she has a couple crickets in there. So I'm going to close that off. And then we are going to move on over here. I'm going to give a couple to Derek. I'm going to skip over Dorito and Mark today because, I don't know, they just don't need crickets today. So we're going to do Derek right now. Give Derek a few. There we go. And then as I mentioned, we're skipping over Dorito and Mark. And we're also going to give some to my Aki down here. I don't know where he is. I haven't seen him out yet today, but he's in there somewhere. A lot of times once I add the food in, he comes out and starts hunting it. So maybe he'll do that because he's super cute when he hunts. So it'd be cool if we could get some footage of that, but we will see. And now I need to put my camera down because this is a top opening cage, so I need both hands for a second. Okay, so there's some crickets in his cage now. Once again, I do really like to let him hunt. I don't really like to tongue feed him or bowl feed him. I just think hunting is such great enrichment for them. It's such great exercise. So I really like to just let the crickets go, and then he can hunt them, and you know, any that don't get eaten can be removed, but he will typically eat quite a lot of them. So we're gonna leave that there. If I hear him come out, because usually when he does come out I can't hear him, I'll come over and try to get some footage of that, but right now he's hiding somewhere. He might have dug a burrow or something, so I don't know where he is at the moment, so we're gonna move on. So I'm going to take some crickets and feed them to the chameleons who didn't get a silkworm or two, because both of the Parsons ate the silkworms, and I feel like that's enough for them for tonight because they do eat fairly frequently. So we're going to throw a few crickets into the chameleon cages, not too many, probably about 4 each. There we go. And then we will move along down here. There's a cricket on my back. I can feel it. That just is great. Don't you love when you get crickets in your shirt and they climb on your back? Isn't that just the best thing ever? I'm super excited to redo his cage. I'm probably gonna go out tomorrow and get some new plants for it. Oh, I put way too many. I did not mean to put that many in. Let's grab some. And there we go. Are you gonna eat for us? Are you gonna eat? He's like, please leave. Oh, there we go. Yes, eat it. Yay. I always love it when I can capture my chameleons eating on camera, because sometimes they're so picky and they're like, I'm not gonna eat if you're watching me. How dare you? They get like so offended by me watching them sometimes. And honestly, I think that's everyone who is getting crickets for now. I am also going to feed some of the geckos like Pangea and stuff, so I guess we'll just move on to that right now, because I think all of the insects are done. Actually, before I say that, I'm going to give a couple to my Fims over here. So I'm just going to shake a couple out in the cage here. They are another one we won't see eat. They probably won't start hunting until their lights go out in a bit, so we will leave those there and they can eat when they want to. Okay, so these drawers over here are where I keep, so this one here is mostly like supplements and stuff, and then this next one here has all of my Pangea in it. I'm going to be feeding them the fig and insect diet tonight. This is one of their absolute favorites, so we'll go ahead and take this bag out, and then I'll also grab some of the biodegradable cups and some popsicle sticks. Well, I guess I only really need one popsicle stick, so let's grab a popsicle stick. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this food up off camera just because I feel like that's pretty boring and this video is already probably pretty long. So basically I'm just going to be mixing up 7 cups of this. I do have 7 animals that eat this diet and I am feeding every single one of them tonight. So I will be back very shortly with 7 cups of Pangea. Okay, so I now have all 7 cups of Pangea mixed up. So we're just going to start taking it and placing it in all of the cages that it belongs. So first I'm going to we'll take this one here, and then we will give this one to Oliver, my crested gecko, who is in this enclosure. Now Oliver doesn't have a feeding ledge. He, for whatever reason, just refuses to eat out of a ledge. He'll only eat on the ground. I assume it's just because, as many of you know, he was a rescue and he was always just fed on the ground with his previous owner, so I guess that's just what he's used to. So I just take this cup and I place it right in the corner there, and that's his favorite spot to eat. Okay, and now we'll take this one here. This one's going to be for my lychee. As you guys might be able to tell, some of the light timers in this room are starting to turn off because, you know, I'm getting ready to go upstairs and stuff. I'm just finishing up here, so I'm just going to open up my lychee's cage and then place the food right there. And then we will go and grab one for my chihuahua. Okay, so now we will give this one here to Avery. I lost the back part of the magnet to Avery's feeding ledge, so it's sitting on the ground right now. I just have to get a new magnet, but for now we're going to put it in there, and then there we go. And then this little one here with only a tiny bit of food is for my Velarde, who is right up here. He still doesn't have a name. I'm so bad with names, as you guys know by now. So we're taking out the old one and putting in the new one, and it looks like there is apparently 2 old ones in here because apparently I forgot to take one of them out before I put a new one in. Interesting. All right, well there we go, fresh food. Okay, and then these remaining 3 here will be for Dorito, Derek, and Mark. Okay, so we'll take this one here and place it in Dorito's ledge. Then we will move on to Derek. There's no old one in there, so then we will put this right up there. And then lastly, we will do Mark's. And then place the new one in. And there we go. And now lastly, we're going to take some fruit flies for my Sparadactylus and my bumblebee toads who are right in here. So now these are just some fruit flies here, and these guys were supplemented with calcium with D3, so different than the crickets that I was feeding earlier. So the crickets were without D3 and these ones are with D3. So I'm just going to go ahead and place some fruit flies in each cage, so then these guys can have some dinner. If I can open this, because apparently I don't know how to open cages. Oh, and the lights went out. Okay, there we go, fruit flies for the toads. And then now let's get some fruit flies for the geckos. And there we go. Alright, so there you guys go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing my lizards eating. If you did, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. Also check out all of my social media. I would really appreciate that. All of that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.